year is 1943. According to Churchill, the sun of victory has begun to touch our soldiers' helmets following numerous victories in Africa, and the time begins to approach for an assault on Europe. But there was a problem. Concern among the Allied planners that Sicily was an obvious choice. Churchill is reputed to have said, "Everyone but a bloody fool would know that it's Sicily," and that the build-up of resources for the invasion would be detected. This would lead to the loss of thousands of lives and the destruction of possibly hundreds of ships. Clearly, there was only one thing to do. Find the right sort of dead body, dress them up as an officer of the Royal Marines, then place personal items on him, identifying as the fictitious Captain, acting Major, William Martin. Then plant correspondence between two British generals which suggested that the Allies planned to invade Greece and Sardinia, with Sicily as merely the target of a feint on the body. Then transport the body to the southern coast of Spain by submarine and release it close to shore, where it would be picked up the following morning by a Spanish fisherman. Then the nominally neutral Spanish government would share copies of the documents with the ABWA, the German military intelligence organisation, before returning the originals to the British. You have to admit, this plan is sheer elegance in its simplicity. Don't look at me like that. We actually did this in the actual Second World War, and it was a lot more complicated than this. Also, one of the people who came up with this idea would go on to create arguably the greatest fictional spy of all time, but that's neither here nor there.
Mr.
Bond. James Bond.
Anyway, The Man Who Never Was released in 1956, when a lot of the details of the operation was still very, very classified, so I definitely take this more as a film based on something that happened rather than what actually happened. If you're interested though, the BBC did a really awesome documentary on Operation Mincemeat a few years ago, description box.
Get on with it!
Yes, get on with it!
Back on topic for a change, and this film feels like an old school crime movie, where we spend the first half of the movie watching the planning, the acquiring of resources, the setting up of backstories and covering weak links. Then we see the event itself, and for the third act, where we follow a policeman, or in this case an entirely fictional German spy, following up leads, making sure that nothing smells fishy. After all, as the Germans themselves put it, the Führer of course has certain advantages over mere intelligence officers like you and me, Frederick. He has his intuition, whereas we have to rely on our brains, and he's sure God is on his side. German officer: "But you are not, Admiral. I do not believe that God is on my side to the extent of sending me the enemy's plans." The whole thing is tight as a drum, with even one scene in the first third that irked me slightly paying off in spades towards the end of the film. Sadly, one of the most affecting scenes in the entire film is complete fiction, but like most great scenes, is no less affecting for being made up. Film moves along at a fair old clip, and being made in the 1950s means long takes, no shaky cam, which makes a refreshing change from most modern films. Also, if you're a fan of film as video game, then you might want to look elsewhere, as this is an old school thriller in the vein of a heist movie. And this is definitely a film rather than a historical document. But on the other hand, the officer who was in charge of Operation Mincemeat has a small cameo, and if it was good enough for Captain the Honourable Ewan Edward Samuel Montague, CBE QC DLRNR, then it's good enough for the likes of me and you. Now, a modern version of this film with access to all the information did enter pre-production this year, and a musical comedy version was supposed to hit the London theatre scene, but I think you can guess what happened to them. Also, the effects of Mincemeat went far beyond this one operation. During Operation Market Garden, the Allied invasion of Holland in September 1944, 14 months after Operation Mincemeat and the invasion of Sicily, a British staff officer brought a complete core-level operations order with maps and graphics, which was never supposed to leave Britain, with him on a transport glider, and then inadvertently left it on the glider when it landed in Holland. The Germans eventually overran the glider landing zone and found the operations order, but due to Operation Mincemeat, they were so convinced that this was another set of fake documents planned for deception by the British, and actually manoeuvred contrary to what the documents indicated for the first few days of the battle. This was included in A Bridge Too Far, 1977, about Operation Market Garden. I know that had nothing to do with the film, but I just want to let you know that amazing fact. But if this was a purely fictional story, I would still love it, because it's so tense, exciting, and thrilling. Every scene and frame is still needed, its characters memorable, its impactful moments impactful, and that's pretty much all you can ask for from a film like this. So drop everything, see it now. But what do you guys think, and what is your favourite film based on a true, incredible story? Comment below, let me know. I'm Daniel, it's Ben Dunking. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe.